What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the NJCAA Call of Duty Gunfight Grand Finals. My name is Proper. Join with me is Enigma and Andy. We're in store for a fantastic day of some collegiate action. Of course, we do have the gunfight that is happening first and foremost. That'll be an entire best of 7 affair, and then we'll have the 4v4 Grand Finals going over towards Vanguard. But first and foremost, Andy, how the hell are you doing today, man?
I'm very good. I needed a full rest after a 13-hour one the other day, but I'm feeling great today. Very good to be alongside yourself. In case those of you don't know, he's Andy, I'm Andy. Together, we make a really good-looking Call of Duty casting duo. And then also very glad to be alongside some collegiate stuff. This is my first time here, and I have heard a lot about it, so I'm really glad to be taking part.
Yeah, we're both Andy's, AA battery, AA's, who honestly knows what's going to be happening. It's going to be an entire thing. We're probably going to get confused our own selves as well, but collegiate action is going to be a very fun place for you to be able to walk in, specifically for these 2-year schools that are going to be represented on the day. We have a total of 4 schools, of course, 2 different schools playing off in the grand finals here in the gunfight will be Iowa Western, the Reavers going up against Barton Community College, the Cougars, so it's going to be very fun and interesting, to say the least. Not only for the simple fact that these 2-year schools are going to be going up against each other, but the fact that both you and I, Andy, after watching copious amounts of hours of Vanguard all year long, now we're going back in time, not figuratively, of course, to the years of which Call of Duty has been released and the years that the games actually take place in, but legitimately for us, we are going back to Cold War for 2v2 gunfight. We're going to be starting things off on Game Show.
Yeah, as soon as I heard that we were heading back towards Cold War, by the way, love it. Big fan of this game. Really have missed it this year. And we are off and away already. Lego Bandit getting nice and aggressive here. Rocking the M60. Red Dawn's got both players here. Just going to be patient and take their time. And it looks like it's being matched on the other side.
Catnip God is taking this lane by storm. And this is all an isolated play. I mean, Monkey just was holding the lane and was able to find that first pick, but unbeknownst to Lego Bandit, he's about to get full flank. Should Catnip God just feel the ante, but Lego Bandit's going to take this as an opportunity, going to push all the way through, maybe try to find some timing, but it's Cold War, baby. Everything is wall-bangable. You got to be careful, and just as soon as they try to hit out the lane, they will get snuffed out. Very aggressive opening from Barton Community College to take the opening round.
Yeah, they just get that opening pick, and then they're happy to swarm the outsides, leave Lego Bandit with nowhere else really to go except collapsing through that middle, and obviously that leaves you exposed to a lot of different areas, difficult spots to get out of. Go 1-0 up.
For those that don't know, the way that gunfight does work, you have 2 rounds of the same loadout, so we're back to the M60 LMGs. You do have the Galio, the shotgun secondary if you want to get up close and personal, but I don't know why you just wouldn't floor roll your way. Red dot sight as well as the laser. And just aggressive push coming through that north lane from Catnip God, just waiting to see if anybody gets over aggressive.
No, unlucky shot, man, just to get it down. And oh, I love this out of Catnip God. I expected him to check back, but he doesn't. He decides to rotate around. However, surely Iowa managed to read this. The flag's going to pop up, though. Catnip God has indeed managed to get around the back. I love it. Takes down Lucky Shot. Dives in on the point, and it's well traded. Iowa will even things up, but I thought there, just for a second, opportunity for a huge clutch play. Great movement. Fantastic stuff, but at the end of the day, Catnip God just not enough at the end.
Yeah, you almost feel like we have like shades of 2v2 S&D final few moments of a round right there. You get the read on the first. You don't know where the second is at. You try to make the play for the point, but Iowa need to start being aware that that is now 2 rounds in a row that Catnip God has been committed towards the flank. Move over towards a DMR. 14. Going to be a single shot type action. Middle through the map is immediately just pushed through by Monkey, and a little bit of test game action as that's actually going to be converted on the opposite side by Lego Bandit, but Monkey's going to be able to find that first blood. Some shots coming through on the backside. They're going to be able to read this fully. Lego Bandit's able to turn that. The stim shot comes through as well. Back up to full HP. Goes for the reload. Can't get the gunny back up in time. Barton Community College almost lost that round, but they just barely scrape by.
It's very unfortunate, actually, for Bandit. If he times that right, he gets another kill there at the end. One of the things about gunfight, obviously, you're chopping and changing so many times, and maybe he's just playing a little bit off a different weapons reload timing. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too long, and he will fall.
Mind you, I mean, the secondary is actually a rocket launcher. Lucky Shot's going to try to get aggressive across the showroom floor yet again. Will be snuffed out by Monkey. First blood yet again. First, got the 1v2 for Lego Bandit. He'll be able to find Catnip God, but again, the trades are always there for Barton Community College. They are so adept. Once they have that numbers advantage, they never allow the clutch to come through.
That's exactly what it's coming from. You saw the grenade launcher come out there for a second, by the way. Probably wouldn't be something I would be aiming to pull out, but you see here, Monkey Tech, he manages to get the opening blood and then just gets aggressive, knowing that he can get that trade as and when he needs it. Fantastic hip fire work, and you're right, that's where it's all coming down to right now. Whoever gets the opening pick, comfortable to then get the trade later.
RPD's out. A little bit of AR action. You do have a traditional pistol, I guess is the traditional sense. You can see because of the X-ray. Lucky shot. God, tonight. Pass LOS from one another. I'm going to take this time just to hold this angle, but unbeknownst to Catnip God, Lucky shot pushes all the way through. Now it's Monkey Tech left alive in a 1v2.
And again, likely to be a numbers advantage kind of situation, and that is exactly how it plays out. In the end, completely swarmed from all sides, if anything. And I actually felt Catnip God kind of got his angles wrong there for a second. He almost strafes out in front of Lego Bandit, I think it was, who picked up the opening pick. Doesn't read it at all. 3-2, as close as we like it to be. RPD's back in play.
LMG can be rather accurate. Again, when it comes down to 2v2s, you really just need to try to lock down timing. The stun actually comes through, does connect on the Monkey Tech. They're brought down to 85 HP. That regen does not come through. Keep in mind you here in gunfight. Like Bandit slow rolling around the corner, gets the first. Does not know that Catnip is right around the corner. They will slow crouch walk their way around the corner. Will get the trade. And already had the read on the second. The 1v2 clutch is there. Barton Community College hold their 2-round lead.
They do, and if anything, patience prevailing. Catnip God here, taking up a deep angle, manages to trade out the first. And like you said, he just reads it really, really well. Lucky shot falls, and I got to give some credit here to Iowa. They're trying to get creative with their opening strategies, but for now, they just need to try and get some opening kills. Not working very well for them right now. Lines up the shot from Lucky.
Swiss K31. If you ever played a lot of Warzone, you still play a lot of Warzone, you are probably very aware of the sniper rifle's existence. 1911 is going to be the secondary. Opening first pick does come through. Lego Bandit is down for the count, and Lucky Shot just has to try to clutch this. No full HP. Does have a Semtex to play with and a stim shot. Looking to get aggressive here with the 1911, and there's a reason why this pistol was GA during the CDL year, but won't even get a chance to ADS that bad boy. Barton Community College put themselves up on map point.
Like you said, the Swiss, definitely a sniper that we know a lot about. And Monkey Tech is ripping heads with it. Absolutely love that. Iowa needing to make the mother of all comebacks to get back in this one.
Oh, that Nib God finds the 4th in a row through multiple rounds. Has the read on the Lucky shot as well. This is for all the marbles, and the flank comes through from their teammate. Barton Community College. I mean, look, if you're thinking about any sort of stark differences coming through, this round stopped as soon as it started. Catnip got the read on the first, had the shot down on Lucky Shot as well, but of course couldn't find the shot. It was just the communication of information that came all the way through, and you definitely felt it there at the end. Barton Community College, they are obviously playing the map more proactive comparatively to Iowa Western. We're playing a little bit more stall-worthy, just waiting for the engagements to come to them.
Yeah, and if anything as well, a lot more on the same page. You felt at all times that they were aware of where their teammate was going to be. For Iowa, not necessarily the case, and that's why they're just not seeing out the situations where they're then falling behind on the first bloods. And also, you got to think back to that 1v2 as well, a pivotal moment in that map. If you manage to pull that back, you never know where it can go from there. And the confidence that must have been ringing out in the chat, the excitement that must have been coming back in for Barton, sees them on through to the end.
So the way this is going to go forward, again, first to 4, best of 7 is how it's all going to be working out for ourselves. So basically how this is going to play out is that the loser of the previous map will end up picking the next one that we are going into. I believe that we are going to be getting a little bit of a swap. Fire Naga is going to be coming in for Lucky Shot. Again, when you're thinking about it for Iowa Western, I was sitting here talking in the digital green room with some of our production, and it was just like, do we know who's starting off here for Iowa Western? Because they do have 4 technical players. We'd love to be able to see everybody kind of get their room to be able to play throughout the entirety of this grand finals for this NJCAA Grand Final Gunfight Tournament. The next map is going to be ICBM, a map that I think I may have played twice through my Cold War tenure. Didn't play all of the gunfight in the world, but I definitely remember a handful of these maps. But ICBM is going to be interesting. A must-win you almost feel for Iowa Western. You don't want to be going down 0-2 in the series.
No, absolutely not. I mean, we've got a long one here, best of 7, I believe. But yeah, it's you don't want to be starting off 2-0 down. You need to build some confidence back into this. Firenaga coming in to try and light things up. Bullfrog's out, and it's aggressive from Lego.
Yeah, you got to get high ground here on ICBM. If you do not get this high ground in your control, well, you might just be staring down the barrel of a very uphill gunfight. Head glitches galore. Lego Bandit does find the first. Be quickly traded on out. Now, Firenaga should know this information about where Monkey is at, and he absolutely will. We'll sniff him out clean, and Iowa Western will take the first round.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen the Bullfrog in action, but apparently it hits hard at range, too. Really good cleanup job there, but used all the information that was available. The communication clearly on point there. Gets Iowa up into things, and Firenaga starting off hot.
Down to the low ground we go. NJCAAE is going to be able to win that heads-up gunfight, and, well, I mean, I don't even think that Fire even had a chance to be able to move his right stick up just a tad. Gunfights came through just as quick as the round ended up starting, and it's all thanks to the upfront gunfights. Hey, this is what we're going to continuously see from ICBM. It's such a small map, not all the cover to work with.
Oh, yeah. Blink and you miss it with these kind of rounds. M60's out. This is going to be a lot of suppressing fire, and actually seeing the grenade launcher be used. Wasn't expecting much of that, but the damage is going to come through. It's only about 42, but it's enough. It's enough to back people off. It's enough to scare them out.
Gotta remember, too, that if you don't end up capturing that flag as well, it will go down to an HP comparison between the two teams. So being able to hold the health advantage, not to mention when you get the upfront gunfight, even if you lose that first bullet, you might still be able to walk away with the round win. And we're back to Iowa's old devious antics, where they're just kind of playing in spawn, waiting for the engagement to come to them, but Firenaga's head is sticking out. Lucky will end up finding him, almost assuming that the player is down low. Lego Bandit is trying to chase for this trade. Will end up finding it. Snaps over towards the second as well, but can't confirm the kill. Barton Community College wins 2 on the bounce.
Beautiful use of the C4, by the way. You hear it just rattle there at the end. It's probably what saved him, because Lego Bandit actually, I think he reads this very well. Spins around and gets some shots off, but the C4 does enough to bring his health down low. That just makes the gunfight all too easy.
High-powered scope on the M60, almost looking like a weapon straight out of the Cold War campaign. That thing is going to jump on you. Lego Bandit is able to get the high ground. Monkey will at least get that information. Some shots have come their way, and they're just going to turtle up inside the spawn. There's the C4. Big damage to at least speak of onto Catnip God. Drop down to about 40 HP. They are forced to turtle down low, bottom mid in this type of situation, knowing that at least there is one player for Iowa up top.
Yeah, Barton with a lot to do here. Way down in the hell stakes. Any sort of gunfight needs to be relatively clean. And Catnip here just holding the flag location. We will see that pop up. And it will get messy.
Gonna drop down, and Iowa just didn't even push for it as well. I mean, they didn't have the information. The C4 came early on that it was on that mid lane coming out from Barton's spawn, but they didn't end up seeing anybody cross down low. It wasn't even an angle that even teammate Firenaga didn't even look at. So now we move over to the LW3 Tundra, and the second that Lego Bandit thinks that he is on a head glitch, his head will get ripped clean off. Catnip God is down here with the Milano just holding up close. Firenaga needs to make something crazy happen.
Does substitute brought in. You want to show that you should be starting initially, then you got to step up in these kind of situations. 1v2, a Milano and a Tundra in hand. We saw last time, by the way, Barton were very good with sniper rifles. They've opened up nice and early here. You've got to touch this flag, though. You've got to start to get aggressive somewhere. Smoke grenade. I love the cover play.
Gonna come through. Firenaga will end up taking down Monkey Bandit, but can't get the read on the second, and it took me a while, too, just looking at that LW3 Tundra. We didn't play with snipers during the CDL Challengers year. Keep in mind, you look with this iron sight is heinous, but even still, I mean, it's one of those things, again, if you can work that pick, then you're going to be looking pretty darn good for yourself, but a lot of your screen is going to be covered. Love the proactive play that's coming through from Barton now with a 3-round lead.
I want to see these Molotovs come out proper. I want to see some areas locked off. I want to see them try and put down some cover, and Lego Bandit will draw that first blood. Now, can Iowa finally build off the back of something positive in this?
Not quick scoping with that LW3 Tundra, I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely not.
Trying to at least recover this round. Iowa Western will, of course, walk away with it. And, yeah, I would have loved to see a little bit more Molotov action. Like, you know exactly where they're going to be spawning off. You have a shot to either, like, lock down one of the side lanes. That finally does come through. It presses the issue a little bit more, but Iowa, they are not out of the woods yet. They're going to load into this round with a Magnum and a Type 63. This is all skill shots galore.
Absolutely cleans up the first, reads the second, but Catnip God will get the trade in. Now, Catnip has absolutely no idea where Firenaga is, and if Firenaga launches this Sentex, though, he will give away quite a bit of positioning, and it's a loose grenade.
Way to work with
I was about to... Yeah.
That'd be funny to just... I think the Firenaga is more than aware that Catnip is down here. Decoy is going to go on the complete opposite side of the map. 7 seconds is the game clock. Still end up having the flag spawn, but it's not even needed. Barton Community College, they hold the low ground. They'll put themselves up on that point.
I feel if you're Iowa, you're looking back at that round where you're up in a 2v1 and you don't dive the flag, and you're thinking, again, we've had another one, another pivotal moment. Just go away from us when we really should be seeing it out. Barton 1 round away from seeing themselves 2-0 up.
Shots coming through off the rip. Going to be Lego Bandit holding down the side lane. 563, you're probably going to be trying to at least play whatever type of range that you possibly can find here in ICBM. So the engagement's going to have to come down to close quarters soon. Down low, Catnip God right. Holding clear to the left, and Lego Bandit was holding the angle. First blood numbers advantage here for Iowa. Iowa Western will clean up off of that numbers advantage indeed, keeping their heads just above water here in the second map.
Decoys, you can hear them, by the way. Like, they are so loud. But yeah, Catnip God there checks his right, doesn't check his left for some reason, unless for whatever purpose he somehow believes he's cleared that. Anyway, in we go. Milano and shotguns, aggressive weapons in hand.
Coming through, Lego Bandit ended up seeing that one was going to cross all the way down. One's going to come through ever so slightly. Be able to pick up on that information. Jump shots will be there, but just as soon as you try to go for the jump shot, you become wildly inaccurate when you're trying to do that. 6-3 will be the final scoreline. Barton College, they take a 2-0 lead in the series.
Looking all too comfortable for Catnip and Monkey Tech, who continue to open up well and then see off advantages. And there were times, I actually thought that Iowa looked a lot better through that one. But they throw around away, and then I think they lose a little bit of confidence from there. They back up a little bit, less taking of the high ground, less aggressive into the lower. They're just trying to squeeze out opening picks. Unfortunately, none of them going their way, really. Iowa 2-0 up already, looking hot.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because you are seeing a stark difference in play. I can maybe count on half of my hand the rounds that you probably saw Iowa Western looking to get further aggressive comparatively to the adversaries of Barton Community College. But Barton Community College, I mean, they're again, that proactive mentality, they're just constantly just denying, taking so much more map positioning away. And that's obviously going to be a lot more potent when you're thinking about the difference in between ICBM comparatively to Game Show. That ICBM, it's such a small map comparatively to Game Show, but even still, the denial of the map, the pinch coming through, the quick flanks off the rip as well, comparatively to Iowa Western, where they just want to continue to sit in their spawn and let the gunfights come to them. It's not a bad strategy by any stretch of the imagination, but you better hope that you guess correctly the angles are going to be coming through, as we're getting confirmation that the next map that we are going through will end up being Gluboko. So that's going to be another map again, where you can play that stationary type of target, but you almost feel like that a change needs to come through for Iowa Western. They need to try to get aggressive through some of these rounds, you would feel, Andy.
Yeah, absolutely. Or yeah, changing it up is completely fine. And if your gun skill just isn't as hot as the other team on the day, that's fine. A lot of players will go into days, and that's just the situation. Let's get creative with it. Let's see some more utility used. Let's find some creative strategies. Maybe just one time, just overload one flank all of a sudden, send a Hail Mary. Just do something to unsettle the other side. Because at the minute, it feels like Iowa are just letting Barton dictate all of the play. I think you're completely right. And they've got to be unsettled here. Otherwise, this is going to continue to be very, very one-sided. And yeah, I mean, right now, Barton 2-0 up, everything going their way. Iowa have even tried to substitute at this point. It's not working.
Yeah, and that substitute is going to come back in as well. Keep in mind, just Firenaga is back out. Lucky Shot is coming back in, and we'll have to see if that's going to be the change, because if you're thinking about Gluboko as a map, I know it's been a while since a lot of us have played Cold War. This is a map that I specifically remember. It is as linear of a map that you could possibly ask for. You have one mid-platform that you can battle over. That's the only high ground that you can really speak of. You have longer lines of sight, so you do have at least some options in store, that if you end up having at least a long-range, high-powered AK-47 for whatever odd reason, I don't know who created this weapon setup, it could end up playing benefits, as you just saw with that first blood.
Catnip reads Lego way too easy there, and Lucky Shot, a lot to do. Another slow start out of Iowa. And has Catnip read this perfectly as well? He does. He's already set up and waiting for it. And I feel like as well, last time out, Lego Bandit, very happy to take the high ground. Here he's trying to push out lower. There doesn't seem to be like a designated, okay, this is what I should be doing, this is what you should be doing. But both players still on opposing wavelengths. Nothing really here that suggests a game plan.
Coming up from Lucky Shot. Like, you have fisticuffs as your secondary. You get a certain amount of speed buff that can come all the way through here in Cold War if you don't have a weapon. So, doesn't exactly pan out, does it? Lucky Shot, only player left alive. He's up inside of this communications room. Does get the read onto Catnip, but yeah, the AK-47 with his high-power ACOG scope, that thing will jump on you. Does get Monkey. Gonna catch him in a little bit of a tizzy. Knew where Catnip God was at, but Catnip was just sitting there locking down the angle. We'll find the trade. Scott from Barton College take the opening 2 rounds.
I like the attempt. Lucky here picks up the first and tries to get aggressive on the chow for the second. Would have been flashy had it come through. We're going to see one of my favorite weapons of Cold War come out here, the FFAR. This thing really does put out some firepower.
This thing's a laser beam. I don't care what scope you put on. I don't care what attachments are truly on here. That thing is an absolute laser. Stun grenade does come through, keep in mind you, but it won't find much information at all. Monkey was just holding the angle up top, finds Lucky Shot for that first blood. Will now bring themselves back down low. They know that the way that Iowa Western have been playing, one goes up high, one goes down low. Lego Bandit needs to make something crazy. Half of the snaps is there for Catnip. Tries to get out of dodge with their life, but simply cannot get around the corner in time. Barton Community College, too clean.
Too clean indeed. So nearly a window there, by the way, as on the stun comes in and actually doesn't actually tag. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it was just maximum amount of fortune, but then the flash, doesn't tag, and it nearly opened a window for a huge clutch. Unfortunately, 3-0 up. Too easy for Barton's.
Sliver of the body is poking out there, and Catnip will win the gunfight. Lucky Shot. I was right there with you. I wasn't sure if you were going to be able to see that, man. If I didn't have X-ray thanks to the Codcaster, I probably wouldn't have saw them either, but there's that angle from Catnip. Just the knowledge of these gunfight maps just really feels like Barton has a leg up on the entirety of the situation.
I agree. I'm not sure if we had X-ray, so it looked too good to us, but I really thought that Iowa there had a lineup. Tundra back out. This thing is heavy. Milano is a secondary. Again, I want to see these Molotovs come out to play. I want to see this utility come into it.
You have a gas grenade as well as your tack.
You can zone off so many areas proper. So many.
And everything is just so close quarters in the bottom side of that map as well. And typically, Iowa Western have been trying to take that room. There's the Molotov going to come through. Nobody's going to be pushing through here. This is an iron sight LW3 Tundra, keep in mind you. And God, it's such an ugly iron sight, but be able to at least hold the angle for now. Flag will come through in 5 seconds. Gotta somehow make this happen. Teams don't feel like now the health advantage is in favor of Western. Catnip God's gonna try to get Mixie inside of the flag itself. Won't be able to walk away with a kill at all. Iowa Western put themselves on the board.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. It's slow, it's passive, but if the gunfights haven't been going your way, that's fine. Just take ground and then hunker down. That's completely fine. Solid play. Smokes, and you saw a little bit of Molotov action as well. Let's see more of that. Let's see this happen for Iowa. Let's get them back into this.
Slow rolling. They're stacked up together. Try to overwhelm at least one adversary from Barton Community College. It would do that well. God's going to turn around the corner. Gets the read on the second as well, but Lucky Shot will get the trade. Luckily enough for Barton Community College, you at least had your teammate just nearby. I mean, I guess you're always kind of nearby with how close quarters and tight-knit this map is entirely, but Barton Community College, regardless of any simple facts, put themselves up on another map point.
It's so unfortunate. COD timing, ladies and gentlemen. If you want a clip of it, right there, Lego Bandit looks away at the wrong moment. It exposes Lucky Shot, costs them the round. Will Barton see it off right here?
Back to the DMR-14. Shot look. Jump shots up top, but all of Barton Community College went down low. Now, Lego Bandit is up top, pushed all the way through. This is going to be information that you will somehow know, because, I mean, look, that C4, it is heavy in Cold War. You can't exactly yeet that like you were back in Modern Warfare. Or at least comes through. One shot, the connect does come through, at least from the lethal. The pinch might start to come through as well, but it's a little bit disjointed. On the opposite side, Lego Bandit will drop in the second that you try to find any sort of value. Lego gets gunned from the opposite side. A 5-round deficit win coming through from Barton Community College. This is their steepest win yet, and they put themselves up on series point.
You saw the difference in the quality of the teamwork that both teams possessed there. In one round, the penultimate round, you essentially saw Iowa storm the middle and then attempt to set up to watch each other's flanks. And it's all off. It's all off. Barton collapsed. They managed to overwhelm. Instead, on the flip side, when we get to that final round, it is role reversal. Barton get into the middle, and they manage to cover over, deal with their sides of the map, and steamroll Iowa straight out of this one. 3-0. This is my first time watching collegiate. Barton looking very, very good right now, considering this is also the finals. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, you almost feel like just the communication is all the way there. And something just to know, if you're just a community fan of Call of Duty as a man and beating, maybe you don't watch much challengers or other collegiate action, maybe even the CDL, the pro scene for Call of Duty as a whole. When we're talking about just the communication, obviously we're not sitting here listening to the comms. I'm listening to this handsome British devil on my left side here, but it's one of those things that you have to be able to witness just coming through round after round. They have a plan. They execute it. They make sure that they're always in a tradable position of one another. The arrows are moving in conjunction with one another. It's just seamless coming through. Clearly, they feel a little bit more rehearsed on Cold War. You would know as well as I do, Andy, that sometimes when we do move over towards a new title, as we are currently in Vanguard, you still have some of those lurkers in the previous titles. I'd like to think that Monkey, as well as Catnip God, Barton Community College, they are still spending a decent amount of time on Cold War. Their knowledge of these maps are top-notch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you take your foot off the pedal for just a second, someone else will take over you. That's exactly how it goes. We see it happen all the time, and I'm glad to see that at least it appears to be that Barton have put in some time, figured out some lanes, figured out some lines of sight, because they're so important in these. You only need one really good, surprising line of sight on an opponent, and you open up so much of the map. I'd love to offer ways into this for Iowa, but I just feel like they've got to start getting on the same wavelength. I've mentioned it a couple of times. It doesn't matter if they bring out the tacticals or change things up. They've got to start to play as a team. And the substitute thing isn't working, so maybe do we try and see instead a set lineup to try and let a duo build some chemistry a little bit? I don't know, but wherever we're off to next, they've got to figure it out or we're done here.
Nuketown 86 could very much so be the final venue for Iowa Western here in the gunfight tournament here on NJCAAE. We'll have to see. Tried and true map, honestly. I always feel just right at home when I see this map. I don't care how much you change the venue as a whole. We're starting off with the Swiss K31. Longer lines of sight will not always be there, but so long as you know which windows and angles to be looking at, might just be able to find that first blood. Lucky shot peeks over top of the car. God will walk away with the first blood.
I saw it line up for just a second. Unfortunately, it doesn't check to his left-hand side. Oh, I do love seeing the Swiss come out. You talk about Nuketown, it feels home. It feels homely. We know the back of the hand of this map, regardless of how often they change it, but there's something as well about a sniper rifle coming out amongst the mix. That was absolutely beautiful from Lego Bandit. But Catnip God, by the way, not to be outshined, gets a beautiful first and lines up the second one too. Recognized he had an extra time, adjusted, flush. Beautiful stuff. Barton again going 1-0 up. Iowa, gotta make something happen.
Gotta be watching these lines of sights off rip again. They're going back to what almost felt like was being played out on the game show. Now, you did press out from your house, Lego Bandit, and that's a line of sight that Catnip God watched even the previous round. Gotta be aware of that. Catnip God probably has a good read on the situation. Wants to clear out down low, but doesn't clear all of the fencing going towards the backyard. Shot needs to find some impeccable timing here. I mean, when you're looking at the minimap itself, Monkey and Catnip God, they are isolated for themselves, so especially with the Swiss K31, you might be able to find yourself a couple of picks, but it seems that Monkey gets the information. Shot misses just on the outside. Flag comes through just in about 2 seconds. Monkey's going to put themselves on the middle of the map. You got to challenge out. Catnip God was watching it the entire time. Barton Community College take the first two.
That's that level of communication and wavelength that we're talking about. Monkey dives the flag. Catnip God, yeah, not a problem, man. Get on that flag. I've got everything covered here. The second Lucky steps out. He's not so lucky. Catches a bullet to the face. 2-0 up for Barton. Just cruising.
Nuketown 84. Looking like it's a pretty nice venue for Barton Community College to start putting things away here. Aggression coming through, though, for Iowa Western. They are immediately coming through the middle of the map. The Stoner 63 is a beam and a half of an LMG. We'll find the first. The communication comes through. Catnip God trying to get the heck out of dodge. Only has 91 HP comparatively to the collective 256. Inside of the garage, we'll end up seeing one. The laser sight is a benefactor there to be able to land some of those hip-fire shots. That Lego, or Lucky Shot, excuse me, is still lurking towards the middle of the map from those previous bullet traces they saw. They're rolling the flag, and they just have to peek over top of this trailer. They'll be able to lock away that final kill that's necessary. Love the aggression switch that did come through from Iowa Western off of the weapon changes as well. Put themselves on the board.
Yes, Lego gets up here through the mid-map over towards this Jeep on the left-hand side. Does a great job of just giving Iowa an opening. Something they've missed so much. Monkey Tech 0-2 needs to start to join his teammate if he's going to stem this tide.
Shots coming through from Lucky Shot will end up at least taking one player down. So low, and that player was Catnip God. They're locked behind the walls. All bang shots will be coming through in kind. Iowa Western, they win the Stoner 63 rounds.
One of the things to mention as well, with that silencer being on the Stoner, if you don't see where those bullets are coming in from, you're just getting peppered, and you have no idea where from. The AUG now, fantastic weapon. Backed up by the 74U, by the way. So you've got a long-range option, short-range option. How do they play it?
Burst tack rifle.
Nightmares.
Havoc in pubs. Yeah.
PTSD all over.
I just got all of the rush to my head of the PTSD. Middle of the map at least will be contested for the time being. Monkey is playing over by that trailer. Lucky Shot is over towards the Jeep, but the angle is being held by Monkey. Nice shots coming through. Or head clean off of Lucky Shot is going to force out Lego Bandit in this 1v2. Molotov will come on the outside of that bus. Lego Bandit needs to get aggressive here. Knows at the middle of the map needs to be controlled if they want to be able to get this flag, but they tried to slide cancel their way out towards the fence line. They will be gunned where they stand. Barton Community College takes the lead back.
It's a great setup from Barton. One just holding essentially the right-hand side of the map, and another watching over the left, just covering anything that may get aggressive. They've got to be feeling so secure in themselves right now. Just change it up, throw Iowa off, get the opening blood. Great stuff. Can Iowa answer back?
Already has the angle covered. I mean, Monkey was just so quick off the rip to be able to get towards his head glitch side. He also thinks that Lucky Shot is here as well. Is down to 82 HP. That is going to be communicated, but Barton Community College, I mean, they're not pouncing on it. Lucky Shot is just holding the angle. There's really no reason to. Monkey's going to end up throwing a shoulder, and that might be a swift demise. And I don't know what you were thinking was going to happen there, why you weren't covering another angle. Maybe he thought that you were going to come from the opposite side. Regardless of the matter, that is a big 1v2 clutch to come through from Lucky Shot.
Why did it take him so long to turn it? I'm just gonna roll with it. Lucky Shot getting the 1v2. Massive clutch out of him. He can only play what's put in front of him, and whether or not Barton Community College played that poorly or not, it's brave and it is decisive out of Lucky.
Oh, cool shot, laser sight, mag. Texas.
More nightmares.
Oh, I wonder what trigger is on here. If it's the hairline trigger, these things are going to shoot hella fast. Okay, it's not the hairline trigger, but still deadly up close. Might as well just be holding two shotguns in one of each hand. Lucky Shot is going to start pressing rather aggressively. The shots will be there. We'll take down Catnip God. That'll force Monkey in a 1v2. Is still full HP, keep in mind you. One player is incredibly low. We'll be able to isolate Lucky Bandit. The shots down low across the bottom side of this house will at least guarantee that the health advantage is still here for Monkey, but needs to keep the flag in mind. The flag is going to start being looked at here from Lucky Shot. You got to go. Monkey will be able to lock down the shots. It got shaky there. They almost lost their life as well, but Barton Community College barely scraped by the hairs on the Trinity Chin Chin.
I'm getting deja vu. It's another massive round right in the smack bang middle of it. Pivotal. And it goes against Iowa when they really should see it out. I think Lego gets a little bit unlucky. The stun connects, but then the shots come back straight. But all the same, they've got to start seeing those kind of rounds out.
Magnum action. Semtex clear out the backside of the bus. Monkey is getting aggressive. To remind you that they also got stunned, so you're more than aware of Monkey's location, and Lego's aggression has been paying dividends. The Iowa Western's ability to be able to take these rounds, and why Nuketown 84 is a lot closer than any other map that we have seen here in Grand Finals so far. Lego Bandit is also clearing away the top side of the balcony. Catnip God will at least catch them and shoot them in the back slightly, but won't be able to walk away with the kill. Both stacked up on top of each other. You love to hold hands with your teammates, but not when you're side by side, knowing that the last player alive for the enemy team has dual-wielding magnums. See it one more time. Catnip God says, "Hey guys, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be studying on the balcony." Mom says, "Get down from there."
Catnip catches out a romantic rendezvous of some sort. That is awful for Iowa. 2 big rounds they've thrown away. Catnip got to gobble all of that up. Very happy to. I'm not sure what's going on here. Someone's PPSH acting a bit weird.
Sim shot as well. Lego Bandits looking to get more aggressive. The shots will be there, shaky as it may be. Lucky Shot can't find the shots necessary to be able to walk away with the kill. In Barton Community College, they walk away with 3 rounds in a row up. Magnum coming into the PPSH round. These shots were crisp coming through from Catnip God. The final round necessary. And there's the nuke bomb to send her on home. Barton Community College with a 4-map sweep here in Grand Finals.
I do fully believe that Barton are the better side in this matchup. Don't get me wrong here. I do believe that they at the end of the day, the class has shone through. But Iowa are going to have some nightmares going back watching over this. In each map, there are points where they throw something away that was huge. And then in Nuketown, it gets worse because they give up 2 huge rounds. I mean, what were they doing in the one where they're standing together on the top of that lobby? Just get into a position where you can cover each other's backs, boys. One of those scenarios where I feel like if Barton had been in that 2v1 scenario, they instead would get set up very nice and pretty, cover all the angles, and clear things out. No mistakes made. Iowa, on the other hand, they just let it go. And it's a very easy 4-0 win for Barton. Probably one of the easier games they'll had on the path through this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, you'd almost assume so. I mean, maybe they ended up sweeping everybody across the board. I mean, they could just be those guys, right? I mean, like, when you're thinking about it, at the end of the day, both Barton community college players, both Monkey Tech and Catnip God, I mean, they were playing seamless. The teamwork was all there. Clear-cut visualization of their communication was also coming through in a lot of their different rounds, watching their crosses, making sure that they were always in a tradable position from one another. It was clean, to say the least. 4 maps in, excuse me, all in the favor of Barton Community College. We're going to throw things to a very short break. When we come back, we will have an interview with Barton Community College. It is the grand finals, the champions of the 2v2 gunfight here in Cold War for NJCAA. We'll be right back. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to NJCAA's grand final coverage here of the 2v2 Cold War gunfight tournament. Well, if you blinked, you probably ended up missing it because we ended up having Barton Community College win it clean in 4 maps in a row. We are now joined by Catnip God himself. Catnip God, welcome to the show.
What's going on?
Well, it's a fantastic time to have you here, my friend. You really try to extend things out as best as you possibly could, but things look pretty darn clean for yourself. So my first question to you, my friend, is how much time have you honestly spent throughout all of Cold War, in specifically World Gunfight, I guess as it may be, because the knowledge in between you and your teammate of Monkey Tech just looked absolutely pristine. You guys were just smooth through the entire match.
So we actually played Gunfight when it first came out on Modern Warfare, and we just did it for fun. We thought it was a really fun game mode. And then we were super hyped when we both pre-ordered Cold War, and we found out that Gunfight was being added to Cold War. And so we played it like pretty much, I mean, that we played that more than normal multiplayer. And then when we found out they added it as an actual NJCAA mode, we were going crazy. We were super excited. And last semester we ended up making it to the championship, but we unfortunately didn't win, but it gave us a lot of practice. And the only problem with being, playing it so much is when we do normal pubs and gameplay, we 6-0 every tourney inside the game. So there's not a lot of practice there. So we love getting able inside these tournaments and being able to play other teams because it gives us really good practice. And so we've had a lot of time to practice strats and get calls. And so it really helps out a lot being able just to play it for almost 2 years now.
It certainly showed. Go ahead, Andy.
Sorry. I just wanted to jump in there because you kind of mentioned about like getting the practice and how you 6-0 pubs and so on. It seemed really straightforward for you. I've got to ask, has it been that simple all the way through? Or was today you guys were just way too hot?
I mean, we just have some crazy calls, and we have some type of sixth sense when we play together on Cold War with gunfights. We've played every map so much, we just kind of know, we just telepathically almost tell each other where to go, and we can tell when someone's walking through. I mean, I can be back spawn and I hear someone in the middle of the map and I can be like, oh, he's right here. Adam gets the flick, and it's just, I think we played so long that our play style matches so perfectly. We kind of just sweep through a lot of times.
So then an extension all off of that as well. The blind trust is obviously there, a longtime duo. Is there any aspirations, even Barton Community College aside, to compete even further on for that in 4v4 Vanguard, Challengers, collegiate, 4v4 in any competitive sense outside of gunfight?
I mean, yeah, we love to play 4v4s together. We unfortunately didn't have a very put-together team this semester, so it was kind of hard to feel that. But Adam and I have actually played together since we both started college same semester, so we've had a lot of time to practice together, and we love playing different games together. So when it comes together on Cold War, it's just like a fresh start, and then we play other games, and it just helps us, play together as teammates throughout all the games we play.
In terms of the actual gameplay around gunfight and so on and so forth, because obviously in 4v4 it's a very set type of play style, whereas 2v2 gunfight, you've got to change it up very much so on the fly. How do you get used to that kind of flexibility? Because we're seeing everything from DMRs to snipers, grenade launchers, and so on and so forth. How do you practice all of that?
So, I always tell people, I say, 4v4s and 2v2s, they might be in the same game, but they are completely different games. And so a lot of times to get a warm up, we'll go into a bot lobby and we'll just set different classes with different guns that we need to practice on. And for me, I like to practice on the Bison. I like to practice on the M82, the kind of guns where you have a lot of recoil and you need to be able to use a mouse properly. Adam plays controller, so he gets a little bit of aim assist. So he practices more on the snipers, where he don't get the flicks like I get the flicks. And so we just try to practice throughout many classes. We'll just put it on unlimited and play bots for an hour, or however long we feel we need to practice for.
Wonderful answer.
Yeah, no, that's a beautiful answer. I mean, that's honestly all I have. Andy, do you have anything else?
One thing. So, I mean, it was relatively straightforward on the scorecard. It shows a 4-0. But were there any maps through that where you felt it was a little bit shaky? You were perhaps worried?
Definitely ICBM. That's never been our strong suit. I'm not good at long peaks. I can't hit my shots far away like you can, with Adam. He's really good at those long peaks. And so I try to stick close up where I can get quick movement. So I like to camp bottom and just wait for them to come to me. And I feel like ICBM's probably our worst map when it comes to gunfight.
Oh, I mean, still won at 6-3, so I mean, I guess as it may end up being one of your worst maps. I mean, hey, I guess if you only give up 3 rounds, then wow, what a terrible map it must honestly be for you two. But
very hard for us, yes.
Yeah, very, very difficult, as it was exemplified there in the 4 maps that we had here for Grand Finals versus Iowa Western. Well, congratulations to both you and
Thank you very much
for walking away with Grand Finals here in the 2v2 Cold War gunfight tournament. For NJCAA. It was a fantastic showing for you all, and you guys have a good rest of your year, your semester, and the rest of the college years to come.
Thank you very much for both of us. We greatly appreciate this opportunity.
All right, well, with that being said, we're going to be throwing things to an extended break here for both Andy and I, and for the broadcast as well, as Barton College were just too good with it. They were too clean. They put us so far ahead of schedule that we're going to throw things to that extended break. Wait for the 4v4 Vanguard coming forward. That is later on down the line. It's going to be an interesting one. One best-of-5 series in between Gogabik, the Samsons, and the Laramie County Hawks. It's going to be a very interesting matchup between those two colleges to be able to see which team stands above the rest in 4v4 Vanguard for NJCAAE's collegiate finals. Again, we're throwing things to an extended break, so bear with us. The stream will probably end up going down, but we'll be back around 4 p.m. Eastern for grand finals of 4v4 Vanguard.